play again. But yeah, so right now we're having our first map, and it is actually like Sky Temple at this point. We're having a ban on Tracer, so Morgan's minions, apparently they don't really want to deal with her, and I don't blame them for it. She is incredibly annoying. There's a couple of counters against her. Brightwing with a polymorph can really help. You can, of course, also go into a Lunara, for example, and some players try to go for like a bit of Zeratul play. But with Evil Geniuses, with Elysium Gaming banning out the Illidan, Kel'Thas is still open, and Morgan's minions are taking immediate advantage of this. I'm really curious to see how Elysium is going to deal with it. If we're going to see globals that they're focusing on. There's still Dehaka and also Falstad around, and if you play both of them, you have great mobility on Sky Temple. Tacita and Sonya is another opening that we have seen from some teams. So sometimes Heroes of the Storm drafts can be a little bit like chess. You see a certain opening of your opponent, you have a counter against that, but there's always different strategies that you can run. And at this point, we have the Sonya. Is it the Tacita? Seems to be like a likely choice here, but we have seen other combos as well. A Sonya and Muradin, for example, are possible. There's a couple of things that you can really do if you want to get ahead in the early game, but still, having something like a Tacita to just empower a Sonya is always great, and Elysium Gaming is doing exactly that. So they're currently like playing it exactly as expected. They're running that Sonya here, they're running that Tacita. Could have gone into the globals, but with them not using the opportunity to pick a Falstad, to pick a Dehaka, Morgan's minions have a shot at taking one or both of those. Dehaka is something that we have seen especially in Leicester. The last summer regional final for Europe, which was actually like the first summer regional final. And Dehaka had a huge presence on maps like Sky Temple, on Infernal Shrines, and sometimes even on Cursed Hollow, where you can really just like abuse that global a bit against your opponent. And on Sky Temple, all these globals are pretty strong. So I would actually expect Morgan's minions to at least take one of the two heroes right now in the rotation that they're looking at this point. I think it would be a very good start for them. They have still a shot also on their tank. That's the question that you have to answer right now is, do you pick Dehaka, yes or no? If the answer to the question is no, then you have to think about, okay, what is going to be our tank? Are we going to go into ETC? Are we going to go into Muradin? Or are we going to play something completely different here? They decide to go into a Thrall first as a counterplay to Sonya. We've been seeing that a lot, of course. But that, of course, limits the rest of their options here at this point. Falstad or one of the CC tanks. That's what I really want to see here. Falstad Dehaka, they offer the global. If you go into one of the CC tanks, you can combo that quite nicely with a Thrall as well. But having the Thrall already is a good counterpart to deal with Sonya. So I'm a little bit curious to see what exactly they are going to choose next. Both work. All of these things work. It's a personal preference choice right now, but I really feel they have a lot of good options here. I would love Falstad. I have to admit it. I mean, at this point, they go Rhaegar, okay, Orc Brothers all the way. They want to make sure that they're not ending up in a situation where Elysium Gaming bans out Uther, picks Thrall, or vice versa. So they are trying to secure a strong healer first. That leaves still all the global heroes on the table. And it's going to make the draft quite interesting for sure. We could see even a ban on Tyrande. I mean, Morgan's minions, if you look at the setup, they could go into like a Rhaegar Tyrande plus Thrall, Kel'Thas, and drop a Muradin on top of that, go for stun rotations at the beginning. I guess it's a little bit less likely. Depends on how Elysium Gaming is going to try and play it. They will pick a second support. It could be a Tyrande, it could be an Uther here, depending on what Morgan's minions ban. So in their mind, I suppose they could still also like head straight into a Falstad, which would be a great range damage dealer for them. Li Ming is also available, so banning one of the two out would probably be a pretty good choice and then pick up the other. But they go and get rid of ETC first. They seem to be a little bit afraid of that potential Sundering and ETC Moshpit combo. Also, ETC offers another global potentially with the Stage Dive, which we actually have seen a couple of times in Sky Temple. Morgan's minions, are they going to ban out the Uther or are they going to go for something else here? Uther would of course limit the options of Sonya going deep, and it would kind of force the Elysium Gaming players maybe to go for that Tyrande, for that, or a Brightwing. Brightwing would work, but they ban out Tyrande. Okay, so they ban out Tyrande here. They allow Uther, which is actually interesting. It's actually really interesting. Oftentimes when you see an opponent baited into an Uther, there's that Lunara to consider as well, because her damage is actually like incredibly good for these situations. And there's an Uther on the other side. Double support makes her a little bit less strong against it, since the shields on Tacita are also going to be really nice, but it's still like a very strong setup. So Elysium Gaming, how are they going to run it right now? With a ban on ETC, it's likely that going into... it's kind of likely that they're actually going to head into the tank now, and that could be the Muradin. Muradin or Stitches, those are probably the two tanks that we're really talking about at this point. Muradin taken, Muradin Sonya already. Still the opportunity to go into Uther, but you can also leave them open. The chances that Morgan's minions are going to pick Rhaegar plus Uther are non-existent. So they could, in theory, decide to go for a different hero now first and add more damage. They still need range damage. And at some point you have to ask yourself, what are you going to pick here? Are you going to pick, for example, a Zagara for the bot lane? Are you going to go into a Li Ming, which is still available? There's so many options at this point, especially with the bans that we are seeing here. And they decide to go into Li Ming, which is actually very strong for this map here. And now we have still... it's going to be a bit tricky for them at the bot lane, though. There's Thrall against them. For Elysium Gaming, and it's Thrall for Morgan's minions. Elysium Gaming most likely going to counter that with Sonya. Morgan's minions right now, looking at the draft here, I would like, the more I think about it, a Stitches Lunara would not be too bad. Stitches Lunara would actually be quite nice here. But there's other options of what they could go for. Falstad is still available. No globals taken yet. It's one of the surprising things in this draft. There's the Stitches. Are they going to drop the Lunara or are they going to go for the Falstad? That's basically the question. The Stitches doesn't really shock me. I mean, what else are you going to take? Johanna is the only other viable tank in this particular setup right now. We have seen Diablo, and I suppose you could pick a Diablo, but without the Tyrande and without any other heroes to really capitalize completely on Diablo, and also without a double support, I'm not really quite sure if Diablo would be the best choice for them here. I like the Stitches pickup. I really do. Even most likely going to be a little bit more of a focus on the damage. You don't necessarily have to go for a full hook focus with this setup against you, but he is going to have quite some value. I guess the other hero that you could go for, if you ignore the two that I already mentioned, is a Zagara. So if you want to play with a Zagara at the bottom, you might be able to do that. They go into a Sylvanas instead. Didn't really expect that. I could have seen a Zagara, but I feel like Thrall at the bot lane is going to be good enough for them, and they have decent damage there, so I feel that when it came to like damage output, Falstad or Lunara would have been strong. Sylvanas can of course be kind of nice in this setup, but I have to actually admit that right now, I would have liked the Falstad more. Disengage is great with the Mighty Gust. You have the global presence that is completely lacking at this point. So that would have been something that I would have probably preferred a bit over Sylvanas. Sylvanas is strong, but I really feel that on this map she doesn't unfold her full potential. So a bit curious to see how Morgan's minions are going to try and play her here. If you maybe even see a mind control. Maybe. I've seen it in scrims. I haven't seen it in competitive play too much yet. That Uther, not shocking. Elysium Gaming in this situation, go for the Uther. I guess it could have gone for Brightwing, but Uther it is. And yeah, guys, let's jump into game number 1. Sky Temple is the map. Let's see which team is going to take the lead in the best of 3 series. Sky Temple is the first map, and well, boys and girls, we have the first game between Elysium Gaming and Morgan's minions. To the left side of the map, it is Elysium, and they are starting things with Mitch on Uther. We have Mondake on Muradin, Dirty Sweet on Li Ming, Blade on Sonya, and Saka on Tacita. To the right side of the map, we have Morgan's minions with Gnappa on Rhaegar, Wildkarten on Sylvanas, Bad Benny is playing Stitches, Bosse on Kel'Thas, and Tazu has been a bad boy and got silenced. He's playing Thrall. Once again, there has been a huge announcement by Blizzard. Not only do we get like dedicated leagues in a completely different ranked mode, but we are also in a situation where all of the silenced players, all of the people that are silenced, are denied access to ranked mode, aka Hero League. So you have 1 month to get your act together, and after that, then it's time for some serious business, and all of the silenced players are not going to be able to play in Hero League anymore. As Dustin explained it, if you are banned for more than a month, you have to have been a massive douchebag at some point, because that takes quite some dedication, so Blizzard is not very likely to give these guys a second chance. Actually, like, if you were silenced for more than a month, then you had a lot of chances already. But either way, I'm a little bit curious to see how that's going to work out for for all the silenced players in the end, because let's face it, we have a couple of those in the scene. At this point now, though, we are focusing a bit more on the game that we have here, Zotac Cup Monthly Final, of course. And we see on the side of Li Ming already an adjustment with the Force Armor against the setup that they are running against here. So let's see what exactly is going to play out with that magic taken, paralysis, also the colossal totem. I like that actually a lot. If Sonya is trying to go deep, then it's always great if you have that synergy with the Earth Grass totem then later on. And Sonya is already doing quite some solid work at the bot lane. Blade versus Tazu, they're going to fight their battle here. But we're having also 2 temples now active on the map, and that of course is going to start us up with the objective in the game. The total setup that we are seeing here is very focused again on Sonya, at least when we're talking about Elysium Gaming. And I'm a little bit curious to see how exactly Sonya is going to be able to just like roll in during the later stage of the game especially. Nice, Mitch wanted to have something of that juicy living bomb. He saw Saka there. Saka was like, hey guys, I got some, and immediately Uther walking close enough so that the love would spread, and he's also getting affected by it. That's a boy. He's basically just saying like, yeah, well, as long as we share the pain here, it is much better. You're not alone, my friend. You're not alone. I'm there for you. Either way, we are having level 4s coming in, and it's basically just like an even trade between the temples, which is something that we of course see quite a bit. So right now we're already seeing a lot of Soul taken as the level 4 talent. We're having at the same time Beauty Ground. We're also seeing a full totem build with even the healing totem now being used, which is also like pretty sweet. And well, looking at the rest of the setup here, focused attack plus Triumph Rate and the Leeching Plasma. It's basically the standard builds that you would expect in such a game, and none of the teams have really been able to establish a huge lead. We saw Sonya and Thrall the entire time busy at the bot lane, but of course Morgan's minions are trying to get some value out of Sylvanas with the early pushes here. Sylvanas as a damage dealer or as a dedicated sustained damage dealer is something that I didn't really expect with this setup. I really thought with Stitches they would take advantage of Lunara's synergy with Stitches, with Putrid Bile and Unfair Advantage as talents. But right now, they are looking at Sylvanas, and she is quite strong. I mean, we've seen Sylvanas with some incredible damage already in a lot of games, and she is very powerful on maps like Infernal Shrines, for example, or just Battlefield of Eternity, where you get the Immortal or the Punisher push for you on lane. So there's a lot that he can do with that, a lot of momentum that he can gain with her. On this map, it's not quite as strong. I mean, I guess if you get a boss, then you can get a bit of extra value out of her. But it's going to be interesting to see how exactly they're going to play her later on. For now, though, it's just rotations on the map. And Saka is dodging everything that he can at this point. He's just like moving up to the top. Oh, but the hook is hitting him again. And there's Sylvanas. And they leave him alone. They actually leave him alone. Scumbag Elysium Gaming, poor Saka is all alone at the top against 4 and against Sylvanas. He's crying for help all day long, but everybody ignores him. Apparently he really pissed off his teammates. I'm not quite sure what happened, but they are completely ignoring him. They finally help him out now, and they start to go for Bossa, who is about to get dropped. 40 hit points. 40 and nobody's close enough. I can't believe it. They actually save him, and Bossa turns around, and that is the death of Muradin. Wow, Khaldor's alive, and they go for the kills. They might even get Blade. Yeah, not quite. With Mitch healing and Saka shielding, they are able to keep him alive, but that was definitely a very close call there. And Morgan's minions, actually, in this case, they not only take the fort at the top lane, but they're also able to pick up another kill, which pushes them a little bit further ahead when it comes to experience. But also, when we are talking about a structural advantage in the game, that is a massive lead for them right now. We're seeing there's Vengeance taken on Li Ming. It's a little bit more popular to go into the AWR build these days, especially, of course, after we've seen DreamHack Austin, where the build was very dominant on Li Ming players, especially playing on this map here in particular. At the bottom of the map, on the other hand, another temple is now up, and for now, Morgan's minions have to give this one up for a few seconds, because the rest of the team isn't there. They were taking another camp, and are now starting to fall back in line to help out with the bottom objective. Sonya isn't there. And I really think that right now, Elysium Gaming would be well advised to maybe retreat a bit, but Mondake is low, is trying to escape, can jump out, and does. So last few shots are secured for the team in red. A nice damage here by Dirty Sweet on his Li Ming, really pushing out those orbs. But overall, we still have an advantage on the side of Morgan's minions, without a doubt. So without any doubt at all. So we're already having Mondake here with Dirty Sweet, we have Saka, we have Mitch at the bot lane defending against the Siege Giants. We're seeing in the middle some experience picked up. It's all about the level 10 at this point. Heroic abilities is what you're aiming for, of course. And yeah, at the top we're currently seeing Tazu also securing more experience for his team. And well, once the level 10s are in, of course, it's a little bit of a different game. But the important part here really is that one of the forts is already down. So the structural advantage that we're seeing for the red team is actually quite solid. It's nothing too crazy just yet, but if they're able to claim a few more shrines and maybe push those forts down with Sylvanas, that would increase that, of course. And Sylvanas went into the barb shot on level 7, and that helps her just to clear out these lanes a lot faster. We're seeing them now with their rogue abilities and the Wailing Arrow, and here, as expected, we see again Sylvanas trying to make sure that she gets some value out of her trade. So they're going for an immediate burst. The problem is they're getting flanked here, and apparently they didn't see that coming. Now they are trapped completely. That could backfire fast. Level 10 versus 10, and they're jumping in right away, and this time there's no chance. Oh my god, he gets healed. I can't believe it. Khaldor actually gets healed. Bad Benny and Knappe, they are both low. They are followed, and there's the kill and the double kill. Rhaegar dead. Sylvanas dead. It's Khaldor's demise as well. The hook is missing, but Thrall is showing no mercy. Green Jesus eliminates the dwarf, and Muradin is down. Well played here. The Horde reigning supreme once again. Good job on the side of Tazu getting that kill in, but of course they lost 3 heroes in that fight. They at least got 1 kill out of it. Overall, it was still a victory for Elysium Gaming, and they are already pushing in the top thanks to the camp that they've been taking before that. So they are really starting to get a bit of a headway here. 3 kills against 2 now overall. We're seeing at the bot lane now a bit of additional pressure here with Sucker and Blade coming back in. But of course, from a structural point of view, there's still a slight lead for the team in red, especially with them pushing these down. One of the things that I still have to highlight here, though, is that, of course, the value that you get out of Sylvanas is being diminished a bit after the forts fall. Just because you have to commit much, much heavier to start and attack a keep than if you are simply going into the middle of the map and you are trying to drop a couple of hit points, add a fort or even a wall to the fort. So that's one of the things to really keep in mind. They won't be able to keep that up for like very long. All of those forts are going to fall eventually. But yeah, for now, when it comes to the kill count, still pretty even. 3 against 2, having camps at the bot lane. It's basically an even split on the map. Bottom half is in nearly complete control on the side of Elysium, and up at the top it is currently the opponent's team, Morgan's Minions. Tazu, yeah, well, I don't know what to say. He's not going to get out of this one. The rotation was good. They surprised him completely. There was nothing that he could really do about this. And now they are going to steal camps away. There's still quite a bit of pressure at the bot lane, considering that we have those 2 Siege Giants. So, yep, they are putting the pressure on Natsu, and Khaldor is trying to help out here. Blade is still looking to see if he can maybe even make a play there. It's 2 Siege Giant camps right now. That's 4 Siege Giants in total. That's actually like a lot of pressure, but we all know how good living bombs are. So that's what they're currently attempting to do. Knappe is now here as well, and this is like the moment where Blake should really get out of this. On the other hand, Velkarten here eats the damage as he jumps into the orb, but is not being taken down. Level 13 for both of the teams now, with the Shrink Ray taken on Uther, with also Li Ming continuing her play with the laser show, going straight for the glass cannon. And we are seeing at the same time now the Earth Shield. We have also Backdraft claimed on the side of Khaldor. Backdraft, really interesting talent here, considering that we actually have, I guess we have 3 melee heroes. If you consider Uther a melee hero as well, and not someone that is trying to stay in the backline, then that would, of course, do quite a bit of work. But it's an interesting utility talent that Khaldor has taken here. It's not something that we take too often. Pyromaniac is for most players the go-to talent on level 13. Depends a little bit if you want to have the cooldown reduction, for example, especially if you're aiming for the level 20 talent for the living bombs. Be that as it may, in this case, he's going for Backdraft, so it's all about the movement speed slow. We're having Mega Smash taken. A bit of a hybrid build that we see on Stitches right now, with a Spell Shield on Sylvanas to make sure that Li Ming is not going to be able to just pressure her too hard. But with both of the teams now, again, being on even talent, this temple phase is going to be an important one, especially since it's only a single temple on the map. So they really have to bring their A-game right now for this fight. And heroic abilities are all up, so there's no cooldowns, nothing. Bot lane is being de-pushed with Saka and Blade. They have another 10 seconds before the temple is going to become valid, and therefore, yeah, you can't just like jump in for this one. So right now, let's see how this is going to work out up at the top here. We have the fight already about to start. Yeah, Sylvanas should probably join up with the rest of her teammates pretty soon. She's still not there. Heroic abilities have been thrown out. Good damage on Tassadar, but he gets away. Tazu has to be healed, and they do. But there's still the Divine Shield available and the Force Wall. Wailing Arrow is also still in play. Yeah, they're dodging the minion here on the temple, but we have still that one. No, we actually don't see that well anymore, so they can't really go for it. On the other side, we have now position taken by the red team Morgan's minions are trying to get those shots fired, and they already eliminated the 4 in the middle, and they're about to take down the one at the bot lane now too. But we have again Disintegrate being used. Mondake is jumping in. There comes Blade. He goes for Tazu. Tazu is about to fall, hammered into the ground. They kill against Stitches as a follow-up. And now it's, of course, open season on Morgan's minions. Down goes Rhaegar, and Kel'Thas is also lasered away. Li Ming gets reset after reset, and that's a quad kill for nothing. Well played by Elysium, and they can go for boss immediately, and that's what they do. They don't even bother with that temple anymore. They say like, yeah, screw the temple, let's go for the boss. And that is an opportunity that Sylvanas now takes to secure a few more shots fired and eliminate the bottom fort. Very cool move here by Vilcarton. Really well done by him. Very nice control and vision on the map. He, of course, has to retreat at some point. He should do that now. And yeah, jumps away with a wave. Can't secure the last few shots, but he was actually quite close. So a few more shots. No, he actually secured all of them. Nice. He was still there in time. Really well played by him. I actually thought that he jumped out a moment too soon and that the last 5 shots would be fired against the red team, but that was not the case. He stayed long enough to claim all of them. We have now level 16 talents and the push at the bot lane, not only with the boss, but also with another Siege Giant camp, which is going to be important for this one. Arcane Orbit has been taken now as well, so completing the Orb build that has now been used at DreamHack Austin excessively, and now also here in this tournament. We're seeing the bot lane completely getting tracked, but a nice hook against Blade. Where's the Divine Shield? He needs it, and he needs it soon. 2-second cooldown still on it, but Blade still survives. Wow. They were able to save him without the Divine Shield. It looked for a long time like he would fall. It was a great hook by Bad Benny, but they were not able to make that work. 16 versus 16 now in talents, and again Vision claimed up at the top. We're currently seeing a situation in which now Pulverize has been taken. We have the Cold Embrace, which combos of course quite nicely with the Lost Soul as the level 4 talent, so cooldown reduction, and then also the additional vulnerable that you have on your main target. And Sun King's Fury. So this is really the moment when you are starting to do quite a bit of damage to your opponent. Especially with Tempest Fury and Giant Killer now also taken. That synergy with the triple Giant Killer application on Muradin is going to be pretty important. And let's not forget that we are actually looking on level 13 onto the backdraft on Kel'Thas. So that slow is going to help them out a bit as well. But for now we are seeing again that lead in experience for Elysium Gaming. We're seeing them with 8 kills against 2, and they're playing a very solid game here, but we have seen a couple of crazy matches already on Sky Temple earlier today. So both of the teams are of course going to try and make sure that they at least win it from a structural point of view. And if you look at the map, we still have a fort available at the top lane for the team in red. That's going to help a lot here. Whereas Elysium is now trying to correct that fact, and they are starting to move in. Temples are also going to be activated in just a few moments. Still a level lead. Already Tassadar is on the temple. Shots are being fired. But it's still a situation in which we could see Morgan's minions take a lead again if they are able to get a few kills and claim the bottom temple then. So let's not forget about that. Up here to the top though, the fight is about to start. Blade is going for Tazu again. Nice pressure play. Oh my god, the Ancestral comes through. Unbelievable. He survived with like 10 hit points, and then the Ancestral brings him back up to full HP. Good hook, but the Divine Shield keeps Mitch alive on his Uther. Bad Benny, on the other hand, is about to fall. Got Shrink Rake. The Wailing Arrow is the end of Muradin. Great play here. Muradin, I don't think he even activated his Stone Form in this case, but they're still really low. It's a 4 versus 5. Dirty Sweet is so incredibly low on hit points, but he cannot really... well, as I say, he gets completely healed. But he could maybe fire a couple of more orbs in. The problem is that he's really starting to drop in mana now as well. Shots are being gathered by both of the teams. Where is that Li Ming? She's really far back. Only 3 heroes up at the top here. Thrall dead, Muradin dead. They're still fighting. Hook is missing Blade. But here comes Dirty Sweet again. He went to the well and he has a chance now to get a few of those orbs hitting him. Look at that damage output here. The entire time getting the Ancestral in, getting another orb in. The missiles, of course, hitting home now too. Level 19 versus level 18. Shots up at the top keep here. Destroying the wall, dropping more experience into the hands of Elysium Gaming, and they secure all of the shots and can rotate down to the bot lane right now, where we already see the red team starting to make their move. They're attempting to at least get the shots on this one, but level 20 is so close. It's actually a situation in which Elysium Gaming could just say, guys, let's not go for the fight, let's just simply try and soak a few more lanes, get that 20, and then make our play. But as is, both of them are starting to move down to the bot lane, so they seem to be risking it. They actually seem to be risking it at this point here. 49,000 damage on Li Ming. Here's again the poke from a distance. Storm as well, taking both of those down. Another wave is coming in now, and if they take the wave, they might have the chance to go for their 20 abilities. Mondake, Avatar Stone Form already being used. Here come the minions, they're being taken down. They need just a few more, and they have their 20s, but they're fighting already. Nobody going for the minions here. They're finally about to start to take them down. Why is nobody dropping these 2 minions? Blade is there, is nearly dead, and that's finally the level 20, but is it too late? Tazada survives barely thanks to his prescience, and now they're jumping in with the Storm Talons. Tazu is low, Blade is shielded once again, and healed by Uther. They're turning around to take the temple. Finally they have the Storm Talons with 2 Storm Shields, and also the Temporal Flux. Plus, in addition to that, the Hardened Shield, aka Ignore Pain right now for Sonya. Muradin also with the Hardened Shield here, but they have now a great position in the game. The bottom keep has been eliminated, the middle is attacked now too, and that's an important part at this point. Constant pressure now at the bot lane, of course, thanks to the keep that they just destroyed, and they are willing to commit to boss, at least it seems like they will. Bad Benny is being attacked here, boss is ignored once again, so they're moving away from it. Oh, Blade actually moving straight into that stun circle. That was unfortunate, but that was still the Tazada shield that helped him out with it. Blade with the Mystical Spear, Mondake jumping away, but yeah, they have still a slight lead. For not too much longer though, I mean, it's still 20 versus, nearly 20. But yeah, they won't be able to go for boss in this case. So right now, let's see how exactly they're going to plan to play this out. They take vision, that's important. They should take a few of the camps. If they don't commit to boss, then at least the Bruiser camp, which is something that we're already seeing being done on the side of the red team. Morgan's minions is busy up here at the top. Tazada is still double checking the boss, and at the same time they're just like sitting around here, destroying a few of the walls to make sure that vision is being denied, and we're currently having level 20s now for both of the teams. 9 kills against 3, still the lead on the side of Elysium Gaming. So Elysium Gaming, they have the lead here. They're trying to just like deep push the lanes a little bit, especially the camps that have been taken. When we're talking about damage output, we are currently seeing 54,000 on the side of Li Ming. Thrall, by the way, with very nice damage output as well. He's at 49,000, even more than Kalthus, who's currently at 48k. And besides that, Tazada is just basically on guard duty. He's just sitting at the bottom, and he's just looking at the boss, and the boss is looking back. It's a staring contest, and so far it seems a bit to me like Tazada is winning, because that boss is already shaking his head the entire time, just basically saying like, yeah, I can't stand it anymore, I have to move. Saka is also like giving up right now, so I guess they're resetting and going for round number 2. But so far, I would definitely give the lead to Tazada, I have to admit. I think when it comes to the staring contest, he's so far doing a bit of a better job. Basically stand still there, but now Bad Benny's moving in and double checking everything. They go for the boss, and nobody reacts to it. What good does... Okay, now they see. Alright, they are moving in. I was just about to say, what good does a guard dog do you if nobody follows when he starts to just like sound the alarm? So right now they're actually trying to make that work, but it's free shots that are being collected right now towards the middle, and we've been talking about the mid lane. Towers are already gone, so there's only one left, and then the keep itself is going to start to take damage. Bombs are being spread. 20 talents here. Once again, in case that you haven't noticed that a bit earlier, when we're talking 20s, we have actually the Master of Flames taken, so the infinite spread is something that could be a problem here. For now, though, the fight is starting. No Sundering just yet. Temporal Flux. The Bolt of the Storm saving Thrall, but that Benny is in a bad spot. We're seeing also the Sundering to save Tazu, and this is happening, is it? Oh, Blade! He doesn't get the shot in, but they're still fighting for this one. Uh-oh, bombs are being spread, but the kill against Reka, that's a great one. Killing the healer this early in the fight is, of course, amazing. And right now, they have to save Muradin, but if they succeed to do that, they should still be able to get both of these temples. So that's currently what they're trying to do. Yeah, there we go. Alright, first one is already taken, and the second one is something that we can get as well. At the same time, though, Karten is already there, riding on his mount. No pleb horses, by the way, in this game, if I remember correctly. Oh, there's a pleb horse. No, it's not a pleb horse. It's actually an armored pleb horse. The poverty horse, as it's also called. But yeah, fight is about to start here, and once again, we have Mondake trying to hop down. Hook! The hook for Mondake nearly hits Mitch, and Mitch is just standing there. It's like, oh shit. And it just barely dodges it, and that was a close call. By the way, this is not a close call. This is the last keep about to be annihilated. This one has already fallen, and guess what? This one is also not going to make it. So there's only a pile of rubble where the last keep of Morgan's minions used to be, and this means that all of the shots that are being fired are now going to start and attack the core directly. This also means core damage. I mean, the core is not going to fall, don't get me wrong, but if they get all of the shots here at the top, they're going to dish out damage to the core. Unless, of course, they wait for the shields to regenerate and then go back in again and claim the last ones. That's also cool. But it is a dire situation for Morgan's minions, I'm not going to lie, especially with 3 catapults moving in. 3 catapults, that's a damage. That's a lot of damage, that's a ton of damage. Not to say like a shit ton of damage. And yeah, as long as those minions are being taken out, this is going to be a massive problem. And that's going to happen fairly soon. So yeah, there is a bit of a clock on the entire game right now for Morgan's minions. They need to do something about it. There's another wave coming in. Then we're talking 4 catapults, by the way. And the fight here is just prolonging everything. We are currently 22 minutes into the game. Bad Benny! Oh! He's completely alone, and they are trying to save him somehow, but already Blade is in the backline. The core is losing hit points at the moment. We already have the shields gone, and there's still catapults shooting, and everybody else is still busy fighting. Bad Benny is down, the catapults are there, and these things are doing work. They're doing solid work. This should be the end. Wildcat jumps away in his Sylvanas, but who is going to protect the core? Thrall dead, Stitches dead as well. The core attack, the shield's gone, and ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to the blue team, to Elysium Gaming. They take the 1-0 in the best of 3 series here at the semi-final of the Zotac Monthly. Well played and GG, congratulations. But we are of course going to head into game number 2 now. Welcome back to game number 2 between Uk and in our series here in the semi-final of the Zotac Cup Monthly. We have Elysium Gaming versus Morgan's Minions, and EG is currently in the lead here. So that's already pretty cool. At the same time now, we have to of course check out what draft number 2 is going to be like. Elysium Gaming with the first ban, and we have Tracer allowed. She was banned out a bit earlier. Question is, of course, who's going to take her, who's going to play her. We had actually a couple of teams completely ignoring her throughout the tournament. There's a couple of counters against her, but overall, let's see what Elysium is going to try and pull here. They have the first ban. We are on Cursed Hollow. There's a lot of stuff that you can ban out, ranging from Falstad, Illidan, Kel'Thas, and also Tracer. A lot of these options depend a bit on what you really want to pick. For example, if you would like to pick an Illidan because he's still just incredibly strong, then you're not going to ban him out, right? Kel'Thas therefore banned, and now the question is, are Morgan's minions banning out the Illidan, yes or no? Because if Illidan is not banned here, he's definitely going to be played. Maybe not necessarily by EG, but definitely in this game. And well, Illidan is banned out. That leaves Falstad. It leaves also the option to go into Tracer if they really want to play Tracer. She is allowed, as mentioned before. And I don't want to say that's kind of it, but those are the options that we mostly see taken early on. I mean, Falstad and Khaldor is absolutely great. They go into the Sonya, though. Sonya has seen a lot of play here. Thinking about it, I actually believe that she has seen 100% play so far. And Morgan's minions now, Tassadar Thrall would be a counter against that. You take the Tassadar away from the Sonya comp and you play Thrall because, well, Elysium is kind of likely to ban out Thrall if he's not taken by Morgan's minions now. Again, we could also see them head into something else like a Tassadar plus Tracer, since that combo is pretty strong with the Leeching Plasma. But they go into a very, very early Liming. It's a huge priority on Liming, and usually, like, normally I really don't like it. A lot of the pro teams, if you look at the draft patterns that they have on really bad maps for Liming, they go for an early Liming and they let Kel'Thas go, for example. Even you just look at the draft, you're like, what on God's earth are you guys doing? But right now on this map, it makes a whole lot more sense to go for Liming. Here, she can really completely unfold the poke that she has. She can interrupt tributes. She's really, really strong here. So it's a very high priority that Morgan's minions are definitely using to get her in the game, but it's a hero that is quite strong. They could still attempt to take the Tassadar away from Sonya. Then, of course, the question is what happens once that Thrall is being banned out, because if they pick Tacita, then there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that Thrall is going to be banned. He might be banned as is, but if there's a Tacita on their side, then the Elysium game is immediately going to say, like, okay, screw this. We're not going to play against them with using shields against them. So there's a couple of options of what they could do. I personally would like to see the Tacita or Thrall. It depends a bit on if they are saying, hey, even if we don't get Thrall, we are fine with the Tacita and the double support comp. We're just going to play something else. We might be able to pick up Tracer, even if she's taken away, or like maybe like banned out. We have some other options, but they really need to make that choice now. That time. All right, we see Tyrande instead. Elysium is going to take a Tacita now, and they're going to ban. Do they even ban Thrall here anymore? They're going to pick Tacita. That's certain. If they don't pick Tacita, then I'm going to call shenanigans. I could see, together with that, a Meridian. I could also see like an ETC. Depends a bit on how exactly they want to play it. They could actually ban out the ETC over the Thrall, thinking about it right now. But I believe a Meridian would be a good choice. There's a Tacita. Surprise. Who would have thought? Oh my god. Is it really happening? Finally, we never see this guy being played, Kappa. Falstad is also still out. I would actually like the Falstad. Falstad or the Haka. Give me a global. Gimme. Give me some global presence, please. Unless they are trying to play with the Stitches as their frontliner. Then they could actually pick Stitches now. Stitches or Falstad would be my personal best pick. Falstad. I like it. Me likey. So, for Morgan's Minions, what do you ban out here? I guess you ban out one of the supporters. The issue that you have is that Tacita, Uther, Tacita, Rhaegar, and Tacita Brightwing are all pretty solid comps. So, no matter what you ban out, you have a problem with that. But you can at least limit a little bit what's going to happen to Sonya. So, I guess they ban Uther, they're going to take Rhaegar, then they have Rhaegar and Tyrande. I guess that's what's going to happen here. Unless they are trying to go into some kind of like Stitches composition and they go for like Stitches hook into Tyrande stun into Uther stun. But they don't. They ban out the Uther. They're going to pick Rhaegar. And yeah, let's see. I would probably, normally I would say ban Thrall, but right now looking at it, I would actually consider banning either Muradin or banning ETC. Personally, I would probably get rid of ETC. But all three would be decent bans. I don't know enough about Morgan's Minions to say if there's maybe another pick or another like target ban that you could go for. I have to admit that. But there might be something else. There's of course there's a lot of good heroes still out there. It's not like these are the only heroes that they can ban. If Morgan's Minions, for example, like to play a bit of with Abathar, they can get a lot of value out of this. There is Zeratul, that's always a threat. But they agree, Elysium Gaming agrees with me. They are saying like ETC is too annoying. We don't really want to deal with him. The potential is just too great that we have that stun lockdown in the early game and then later on a mosh pit. So we are immediately going to just like get rid of ETC first of all. Morgan's Minions, on the other hand, it's kind of likely as expected that they're going to go for Rhaegar. Everything else would completely shock me. I don't think there's any doubt about that. So they're going to pick up Rhaegar. And I assume it's going to be either Stitches or Muradin then on their part. Both heroes would be alright. You have the stun into stun lockdown. Muradin it is. I like it. I really feel it's the better option for them right now. Rhaegar shouldn't really be a surprise. The only reason that I can come up with why you would not insta lockdown Rhaegar is that you actually try to use the time pool to discuss your last pick already. That's the only reason that exists at this point to not insta-pick Rhaegar. Elysium Gaming, they will have to move into Brightwing. Or they could, I guess, go for Charism. I guess both are okay. Let's wait a little bit of what's going to be chosen for Morgan's Minions. Oh my god, like, what is that? They pick Lunara, and they let Rhaegar go. What? Okay. Why do you ban Uther if you let Rhaegar go? If they do that, I would have more tinkered around with a tank pool instead. Alright, Elysium is going to pick Rhaegar, and they're going to pick Stitches or Johanna. Huh. I do not understand what Morgan's minions are thinking right now. Could they try and play like Stitches plus Mirrodin? But it's likely that that Elysium is picking a Stitches at this point. I would pick Stitches. I actually would pick Stitches here. You have great hook targets. You have a Tyrande, you have a Lunara that you can both hook. You take Stitches away from Lunara. There's always a chance that they are trying to go for a greater advantage. But they play Leoric. Okay, I didn't expect Leoric, but I have seen some really decent Leoric plays in the recent past. I personally think that Stitches would have been the better choice, but if you have a comfort pick on Leoric and you really feel you get something out of it, maybe with like Entomb plus False Step Mighty Gust, then that's alright. They have a Sonya, they have double heal, Leoric, alright, it's fine. It's not what I would have expected here. I really thought it would be either Johanna or Stitches. I feel those were the more traditional picks, but if they are more comfortable with that, that's fine. And now we have a Brightwing. Brightwing polymorph against Sonya, why not? I'm a little bit curious to see how exactly this is going to work out for them right now. They have a double support, which isn't too bad. If they can keep Lunara alive, that should be alright. But I suppose that Leoric is going to be trying to go into an Entomb and then just simply trap Lunara. If they can make that happen and you trap Lunara or you trap Tyrande, then those guys are definitely going to be down. But yeah, interesting setup for game number 2. So guys, let's jump into our second map, Cursed Hollow, to see which team is going to take the game and potentially, of course, the series. See you on Cursed Hollow. Welcome to game number 2, everybody. We have Elysium Gaming in the lead here at the Zotac Cup Monthly Final, and currently to the left it is Elysium with Mitch on Rhaegar, Dirty Sweet on Tacita, Mondake on Leoric, Saka on Falstad, and Blade on Sonya. And to the right side, Morgan's minions with Knapp on Brightwing, Wildkarten on Tyrande, Tazu on Liming, Bad Benny on Mirrodin, and, well, Bossa on Lunara. I've actually been thinking since the draft a little bit about what the thought process could be here, and to be honest, I don't really still understand what exactly they were thinking with that ban on Uther and that not picking Rhaegar. Even if you try to force your opponent into a bit of a weird situation, I could have seen them banning Rhaegar and trying to force the opponent into Uther so that Lunara gets a little bit more value with all her poison. It feels to me a bit that they were all of a sudden just realizing that they would give Brightwing over to their opponent, and then with Falstad plus Brightwing there would be a little bit too much global presence for Elysium Gaming. So it could be that really like mid-draft they started to change their mind a bit of what they would try to, or what they should try and do here. So it's actually like a bit interesting to see how this is going to work out. The Lunara pick in itself is actually not bad. I really like that. I just am surprised about the choice in healing, considering how they banned their heroes out. So it is a game that they can definitely win, but I feel like it's a bit awkward that they gave one of the strong healers over to Elysium Gaming, considering that they were already running the Tacita and now have a very strong support for Sonya and can therefore enable her the entire time. So we're going to see how exactly that's going to work out for them. I mean, in this case, we are going to double check what's going to happen here, but first of all, let's see what the bottom of the map is going to give us, where we have the tri lane in this case now for Elysium Gaming, already starting up with a quick Oracle to see what's happening here. The Wildkarten is detected. And keep in mind that what we're seeing here on the side of the red team is also like a lot of CC, right? I mean, we have Brightwing with the Polymorph, we have also a stun combo with Mirrodin and Tyrande, and we are seeing on the top of that Liming and a Lunara that can capitalize on it. So there's quite a lot in the early game that really threatens Elysium Gaming. And they have in the long run, I feel, the better setup, since they have just an incredible enabling happening on the side of Sonya. But overall in the early game, the rotations should actually end up in the hands of their opponent. For Leoric, it's not a surprise to see reanimation. It's a talent that you will actually completely... the reanimation is actually like the talent of choice. It's usually what we see here. Tree line push in the mid lane. At the same time, the bottom is being spammed down as well. We have one of the towers eliminated on both now. The teams are more or less going for even exchanges. Yeah, nothing too fancy. The level 1 talent, by the way, with a natural perspective, so trying to get a bit of additional vision here on the map. Already, Sonya is starting to take over at the camps. And this is actually something that we saw immediately. 2 minutes in, the first thing that happened, you might have seen it, Falstad flew to the top lane. And the reason why he does that is that 2 minutes into the game, the camps are spawning. This is the moment when Illidan or Sonya can start to go solo for the camps. And that's exactly what they're trying to do here. So they rotate Falstad onto the Sonya lane so that she has the freedom to just like roam to the camps and immediately start taking those. And that's what we're seeing right now. Blade is taking the first one. We had 2 heroes on the side of the opponent's team with Tazo and Volkarten already taking their own siege camp. And now we have still a bit of pressure at the bot lane, where we're seeing Bad Benny in position to maybe hammer switch down, Mitch down a little bit, but not quite. When it comes to the level 4 talents, the Heart and Bones have been chosen. Makes sense to actually like skill Leoric a little bit tankier, since he is the main tank for the team right now, with the Sonya assisting him, of course. And she went after the Shot of Fury straight into the focused attack. Already a quad lane in the middle. The rotations are strong, and Blade is gonna fall. I mean, he already knew it would happen. He was just trying to get a bit more damage out. The rotation, or at least this kill, is not going to be too tricky, but it's most likely going to result in them giving up the tribute. The problem is for them that they won't even be able to get like an experience lead out of it, because immediately after Sonya was taken down, they realized that they don't need all 5 heroes up at the top, and that'll be being moved down to the bottom. So it was a pretty cool move here, and a very timely move also from Morgan's minions that worked nicely for them. At the bot lane, we're having now 2 heroes still trying to push that in a little bit. But Dirty Sweet and Mitch, the 2 supporters, they don't really have what it takes, the damage that it takes, first of all, to push that down. The teams are starting to head into level 7, and there we have it now with the Boomerang build thing after the Gathering Storm taken for Falstad. We're seeing now also Ferocious Healing on level 7. We have Kala's Embrace after leeching Plasma and the Cleanse. Whereas here, it's a bit of a fight happening over the camp. Nice zoning, making sure that the camp could be taken. And this is always one of the situations that's a little bit weird. I mean, you see that a camp is taken, you're trying to steal it, but then you're immediately faced by an opponent that zones you out, the camp is claimed, and then you have the camp barreling down the mid lane, whereas you did just not have the time, just spend a lot of time clearing out or trying to steal your opponent's camp that you didn't get, but you couldn't take your own one in this. This is like a pretty strong push in the middle of the map that we're having right now. We're seeing also battle momentum taken, the Vile Vigor over the potential. Well, I guess in this case you don't really go for the extra damage against like the structures and against like minions. You don't really have to, but it is sometimes of course be the preferred choice. But right now on Cursed Hollow, Wild Vigor makes quite a bit of sense. We're seeing still Phase Shield, Unstable Anomaly, and Hyper Shift, the talents. By the way, still no level 7 talent on Monday K. He did not go for it. Now he goes for it. Paralyzing Rage is taking over the Ghastly Reach, so trying to get a bit more control in these team fights. Not too shabby, can maybe lock someone down, and especially if he plans on going into an Entomb, that is helping him even more. Tazo is just going to hit those Seeker missiles. Like, you can really do whatever you want, but he's going to missile. He's going to missile you into oblivion. Nice shots by Isaka, though. Really well done here. At the same time, we have a bit of a fight happening still with Leoric moving away. He's going to be one of those guys that it's not going to be too bad if he's actually taken out. But a great tribute grab on the side of Elysium Gaming. So that was actually really well done. And in experience, even with Brightwing soaking at the bot lane, they didn't really lose too much. But they should probably fly Falster down to the bottom of the map. And I suppose that's what he's doing. Yeah. Flying down to the bottom to soak the lane here. So they didn't really lose anything. Great play from Elysium. Really well done in this case. The level 10 abilities are going to be quite important. For us, it's really important to see if Leoric goes for Entomb. Entomb would be great against a lot of the heroes that are being run on the side of the red team, but at the same time, if you go into the March of the Black King, you have a little bit more sustain during these fights if you go up against especially that Muradin at the front line. So there's a few things of what they could really do here. But I like how Saka is currently playing his Falstad. He's getting a lot of stacks on his Gathering Storm, which is quite important for him. Leoric, of course, is going to be willing to sacrifice himself in the later stages of the game. Not really a problem for him. The more stacks he has on his reanimation, the faster he's going to be back in the fight. And it's one of the reasons why they picked him in the first place. He's going to be able to trade. Like if they get, for example, kill for kill and it's Leoric that dies, that's always worth it. We're seeing now Entomb taken, as kind of expected. All of the rooks are actually in play, with the Thornwood Binds, with Starfall. We have also Brightwing with a Blink Heal, Disintegrate, Avatar, and there's the Force Wall. And again, the position going straight for that tribute. Bad Benny misses the Storm Bolt. He might actually fall here. Boss is claimed in the meantime at the top. Yeah, 2 tributes against 1, but Dirty Sweet is there. And he is being annoying. And again, they have to move away. That's time wasted. And they are still trying to keep the aggro on the boss so that they could potentially move in. He gets leashed though. And yeah, Tazo is just like trying to poke a little bit with a missile to see what's happening over there. But that was actually quite annoying. I mean, that was actually one of those moments where once again they didn't get any value out of this. Here comes the Paralyzing Rage with a massive slow. The Entomb, and Sonya wants to go for it, but the towers are there and the Starfaller's counter is employed right away. Blade gets polymorphed. He's actually in a lot of trouble here. But Monarch is ready to help his buddy out again, and with the shields of Tacita, he can also retreat without having to sacrifice anything. Top lane pressure has happened with Bossa, was attempting to like burst his wall down. That hasn't happened so far. Falstad is actually flying in right now to make sure that he gets a bit of experience. In the mid lane, we have the ammunition drained. The tower is nearly taken out. But yeah, pretty, so far would actually give a little bit of a lead really to the blue team. It's not that they're really ahead in experience or anything, but they have the composition that is going to become much stronger towards the later stage of the game, in my opinion, because that Sonya is going to be completely out of control. We're going to have even more stacks on Reanimation and on the Gathering Storm, and that's going to help them a lot when it comes to the pressure. So right now, I like the situation for Elysium Gaming quite a bit, but Morgan's minions are still in a situation where they can, of course, with just a simple team fight, take the advantage of the game here. And the Brightwing with the Split Soak is powerful for them. They go in again, they try to go for the burst against, Leoric, and they get it. Leoric down, and he is of course going to be down not quite for 20 seconds here, but yeah, they need to delay a little bit if they really want to make sure that they can still take this one. So there's already the poke happening, also extra damage on Saka in his Gathering Storm. They delayed as much as they can. Again, Sonya moves in, Leoric is going to be back in just a moment. That's exactly why they chose him, and they lose Falstad in the meantime. That was of course a problem. Now they're moving away again, and with Falstad dead, they really have to wait it out. Or have they? Li Ming is dead, and there's the trap against Lunara. Starfall is being used as a counter, and of course, with Sonya going completely ham in the backline, they might be able to make something work here. Nice heal, well done. No level 13s yet, but they are close. Good damage against Barbarian. Bossa also can fly in again, but the kill against Muradin already forces the red team to retreat. They are on the way back. Morgan's minions are moving out of there. That's the curse. In the meantime, down here at the bottom, the two Siege Giants have done some serious damage to the wall and are now starting to attack the rest, but they are eliminated. Level 13 talents are in play. Mid lane is being attacked immediately, and the fort falls. We are seeing tidal waves chosen. On 13, the Burning Rage. Giant Killer now acclaimed as well. Actually interesting to see the Burning Rage, considering that he could have gone for maybe even a Spell Shield here. So if they really want to play him super tanky, that would have been a choice, but they decided against that. We're seeing for now top lane attacked, and by the way, Leoric is already at 17 stacks on his reanimation, so the bonus health regeneration is at 25. It's going to be really important, especially in the late game. He is going to have a huge value for his team when dying, so that he can be back immediately. Their position in the game is great, and now with the vision that they have on the opponent, it's all about vision right now. They have the vision on what's happening up at the top, so they know perfectly well there are 3 heroes already at the top lane, so that they can go for the boss at the bottom, and that's what they're currently doing. Tacita is already here, trying to poke a little bit. Oh, the double root thanks to the boss! Well, that shouldn't have happened. Dirty Sweet is delaying things a bit, and guess what? The rest of the team is starting to move in. So yeah, Tacita, nearly unkillable of course, thanks to his shift, so he can move away. They're trying to go for Tazu. Careful, it's a trap! And, well, the trap could actually backfire here, but nope, the disintegrator so much work. Starfall is in a great spot, Mitch is low, Blade is dead, the trap is working, Monarch is also going to fall most likely. Yeah, but that's actually well done. The boss, on the other hand, is already on his way through the wall at the bot lane, so I'm not quite sure if they should really go for the boss at the top right now. Not sure if that's the best move here. Monarch is still there, and there's the rest of the team. Li Ming is the only one at the bottom that would put the fight up to the top into a 4 versus 4 situation. Li Ming is currently trying to laser the boss away, but already the towers are completely drained. They're still going through the entire wall there. The boss is still being fought over. Got leashed now though. Stormbolt hits Tacita, that doesn't do too much, and Sonya is on the way back. Great play on Elysium once again. They were able to delay or deny the boss to the opponent. Their own boss did serious damage at the bot lane. Went through the entire wall for an early boss. That's actually not too bad. That was actually a pre-11 minute boss. Like, the bosses scale of course quite heavily, and there are certain jumps in scaling that are quite important, and one of those happens at 11 minutes and the other one at 21 minutes. So that's incredibly important there. So in this, actually it's 11, 16 and 21 minutes. So that's quite important in this case. It was a very early boss that got a lot of value because the fort was already down and nobody really defended against it except for Li Ming then later on. And they have again a talent lead. This time we have the synergy between Colossal Totem and also the Earthgrass Totem. We see Sonya with more survivability thanks to the Nerves of Steel. Falstad has the mini stun on his Hammer Time and is still stacking up nicely. So yeah, their position is getting better and better and better. I don't mind the level 16 talents too much on the side of their opponents either, but I really feel that overall the edge definitely is taken by Elysium here. Because yes, there's massive damage now with the Mirror Ball. Ranger is going to be great. Great at Polymorph 2 against Sonya. The Starwood Spear is also like strong. But I still think that what we are seeing on the side of the blue team is just a bit better. Again, well, and then Saka gets hit by a Li Ming volley and is already dropping to half health. But still, nice positioning by the way also for the healing ward over here. So giving them a bit of a chance. Oh, Mondake is actually getting healed. The owl hits though. But it's still a 4 versus 5 right now. Once again, they're starting to jump in here up to the top. And it looks right now as if we are going to see maybe another tribute for them. Nice heal there. Great heal. And the Entomb isn't too bad either. Look at the trap against Vulcan. He's down. That's Tyrande dead. She used the Starfall. Waited for a long time here. Mondake moves away and the healing ward is ready again. Is able to heal them up a bit. But Brightwing with a channel. Brightwing with a channel. And this is a tribute in their favor. Even though they lost the hero, they get the tribute. Question is, can they retreat without losing more? Saka is nearly down. Here comes the disintegrate again. Li Ming is being attacked though. There's the shield. Blade goes in and wants to kill. Doesn't get it though. And Bosse is attempting to turn around, but the heals on Rhaegar are strong enough to keep him alive. Again, Mondake trying to get out of there. He might fall. He gets shielded and is able to retreat. Well done here. It's really sick fights that we're seeing here. Tassadar making sure that nobody falls. And once again, there was massive value in the meantime thanks to a camp that was taken earlier. This is one of the strengths of Elysium, really, to take these battles when they have something pushing lanes and then delaying them for as long as they can to get value. 3 kills against 5, in favor, by the way, of the red team. Morgan's minions, they are currently in a position where they lost way more structures than their opponent, but they are ahead in kills. Down at the bot lane, by the way, we have also a camp pushing for Morgan's minions. Let's not forget about that. We're seeing them nearly taking down the fort here. It would be the first one, on the other hand, though. Once again, we have, when it comes to damage output, Falstad at 21,000, which is actually quite remarkable considering that he goes for Gathering Storm build. A lot of people haven't really still realized that if you go for Gathering Storm, usually siege damage is what you get the most value for your team. Of course, you're still going to do damage, but if you don't go into the Shock and Awe, aka the Hinterland Blast, then normally your damage is a little bit lower because you're focused more on like siege damage. You have the Extreme Explosion with the Boomerang, and later on in the game you can also use it against the opponent's team, but it is going to be a little bit late game heavy when you dish out your damage. That could be the curse now, by the way, against the blue team. Yeah, Leoric got sniped here super fast, and they are not really willing to let this one go. Leoric needs to really think about what he's going to do now. So, yeah, but there's the curse. So they are getting cursed, and he actually is back. Okay, so he realizes that moving away right now might actually end up with him being in a really awkward spot. So he's just like being back and starts to move to the bot lane. Are they going to try for boss? It looks like they are. There is already a Wisp on its way, trying to see what's going to happen there, but the Wisp is gone, and we see everybody else going down to the bot lane. Yes, Falstad flies in now too. Boss taken. Both teams are going to take it. Top lane pressure, and again, this bottom lane boss is going to be much better for Elysium because the wall at the keep is gone. It's all really about the situations in the game right now. So it's going to be a Siege Giant camp that is going to do a little bit of damage to the boss. The curse is going to probably end roughly around that time. We have still 1 keep there. Defense should be nice, and they are actually starting to pressure this in even a little bit more. So they're starting to pressure that in. They want to do the damage, and that is going to force these boys back. They go for the fort, and they're going to snipe it, but they have to really retreat here. They take the camp as well. Alright, so what's going to happen? Let's see. They're starting to move back. Brightwing can, of course, always use the teleport. Camp has been taken. They're ignoring the top lane right now. Brightwing is there. They are saying, hey, we have not only the boss, we have also Siege Giants. They timed them well, and they're trying to go for the kill against the keep. They're actually risking it. They're saying, like, let's let the boss go at the top lane. We're going to put in the pressure at the bottom, and then we can still retreat. And right now, they're doing significant damage. Those Siege Giants are not kidding around here. And they have, of course, the Force Wall on Tassadar. They're definitely going to get this one. They should actually retreat and defend their own keep at the top, but they go for a quick entomb first. There's the heal on the Auric, The keep is gone. They start to retreat here. And let's see if they can save their own keep. That's the bigger question, because if they can't, then this wasn't worth it at all. And they won't. This was not a good choice. They had a much better position at the bot lane than their opponent, and now they both end up losing one keep. That was totally not worth it. A bit of an unfortunate decision making here by Elysium Gaming. I don't mind that they pushed the bot lane. What I don't like is that they stayed this long. They should have tried to defend their own keep. So right now they end actually up in a situation in which we see their opponent being ahead. Right now, Morgan's minions are slightly ahead in experience, and in the structural perspective, they are both on exactly the same level. So this is a bit of a weird spot right now for Elysium Gaming to be in. That call was not really doing what they were hoping for. So in this case right now, we have level 20s at any moment. We're seeing Falset with 24,000 damage. Again, Leoric is currently at 30 extra stacks on his reanimation, which gives him a bonus health regeneration of 45, which is pretty sweet. It's a lot of damage right there. So, yeah, let's see how this is going to work out for them. Both lanes are being pressured. Falset, of course, can now fly in, and that's exactly what he does. Level 20 versus 20. We're going to have a closer look at those in just a moment. Here's the Entomb against Mirrodin, though. That doesn't really help too much, but it zones the rest of the team out, and it traps Gnappa there. Oh, nice cleanse on Blade. Really well done. Sonya not affected by those stuns at all, and she can go ham, and she does, and she goes for the kill. Li Ming is dead. Really well played. Li Ming down 5 versus 4 situation right now. We have a double Storm Shield. We have also one Storm Shield. We have a double Hardened Shield, aka Ignore Pain. Rewind on Rhaegar for the extra heals now too. And we're seeing, of course, on the side of Tyrande, her heading straight into the Celestial Wrath, with also the Forest Wrath taken over the Galloping Gate, which we could have seen too. And we have a rewind for the double Polymorph on Brightwing. But it's another tribute here that gets interrupted for a moment, but Mitch is going to get that chance. The first tribute, no panic. Everything's still good in the hood, but this is, of course, once more a nice position here because they can get the first one, they can pressure the lanes a little bit, they can push those out, and they have a 5 versus 4 situation for a little bit longer, which allows them to put pressure into the mid lane. It's not going to be too crazy because Li Ming is going to be back in 10 seconds, but they might be able to at least put some pressure onto the keep itself, and that alone would already be totally worth it. Question is, how much are they really committed to this? Are they really trying to stay in here? They have their heroics all up again, so they can go for a fight if they want to, but underneath the keep, that's always a questionable decision, especially if your top lane is being pressured in that way. But they move back, and I like the decision. They put half hit points on the keep. That's already strong. Falstad is, of course, with his Mighty Gust now flying in, taking down the catapults first. That's the important part, so that the shields are not going to get scratched. Brightwing is already down here, trying a similar thing. Both of the teams waiting for the bosses to be up, waiting also for tributes to be up. And there's a tribute. And a camp taken at the same time once again. This is a really close one right now. I mean, at this point, it's really just all about who gets the next curse, who gets the next boss, who wins the team fight. Dirty Sweet is already there. Blade, wow, very aggressive considering that he's very much alone here. But Bossa is not there with his Lunara, and therefore Blade is actually safe for now. Again, the tribute channel has started. Mondake is by now on 35 globes that he has on his reanimation. So we're having for Leoric 52 bonus health regeneration. So if he actually starts to go deep and dies, it's not going to be a big deal for them. They just have to retreat and poke a little bit, and then they're going to be fine again. So right now, there's again Storm. Nice interrupt. That was a close one. It was a really close call. Good coordination here with the interrupts that they have. Always going for the pokes. Brightwing starting to jump in. At the top, we already have this one. The tribute, by the way, is a really decent one in the sense that it is at the top where they can always just use Falstad to burst these waves down, so the core is not going to be pressured. At the same time, the Siege Giant Camp at the bottom lane is serving a similar purpose. So none of these teams is pressured too much by the keep that is being taken down. Of course, that camp is now going to fall, so in the long run, this lane is going to be pushed back quite significantly and could end up at the core. But for now, it's a very even fight here at the top, and none of the teams that have a disadvantage because of the keeps that we're playing. Yeah, again, Li Ming teleporting away. Blade goes in, gets healed. Is the Ancestral there? It's ready, and they are using it. Starfall in a great position. Mondake is pushing them in quite far, though, with a paralyzing rage. Saka thinking about going straight for the tribute, but Leoric is dead, is sniped. He's already regenerating as we speak, but they might have to let this one go. I think it would be a good decision to just give it up. Mondake, yep, they are going to be back in just a bit, but for now it's once again they go for the boss. And they see that, of course. They see the boss, Falstad flies down and says, hey, if they go boss, we have to do the same thing immediately. So he's going to move in right away. Blade is there now too. And boys, any of these teams could try and end with the boss. And the boss at the top is actually faster. I think the red team, the blue team is going to be forced to try and defend here. And it's not going to be an easy defense. Falstad might actually be able to just use the, use his flyability. They have to Mighty Gust, I guess. They really have to Mighty Gust. This is going to be a really awkward moment. This boss is so much faster. The boss over here is so much faster at the core. They have to defend. They have to use the Mighty Gust for that. They have to shield with the N2. That's what they're having to do right now. And of course, they are also on the clock. The red team is also on the clock because if they don't finish the core off, the boss at the bot lane definitely will. But they have the better position right now. They have a lot of pressure. And here's the fight. They need to move outside of the boss and go for it. Once again, the Entomb against Mirrodin. That doesn't do anything. Here comes Blade, Mighty Gust into the corner. They're trying to get the kills here. Boss is already on the core. How about Lunara? Are they going to be able to take her down? It doesn't really look like it. But Tazu is about to fall. He's dead already. And Rega is moving back. Brightwing is now dead too. Boss is on the core. Mirrodin is trying to go for it. This is going to be so close to Ronda already with the damage. If they defend here, then it's all over. But can they claim the boss in time? It doesn't really look like it. It looks like we're going to have a 1-1 situation. The boss is still on it, and he's about to drop it. Even the shields of Tacita are not enough. GG as Morgan's Minions force game number 3 in the series. Game number 3 is going to happen on Dragonshire, and we have our draft ready. So Elysium Gaming versus Morgan's Minions, and right now this is going to be a super interesting one because Dragonshire is still one of the maps that is the most complicated to play in the sense that you have to have the most map control over your opponent in order to get the objective. And well, Morgan's Minions, they go for the first ban here. We could see a Kel'Thas ban, for example. It's always the question is, how are you going to deal with Illidan? That's right now probably the most important question in the entire game. We could, for example, see, again, Elysium Gaming just like simply banning out Illidan to make sure that they don't have to deal with that. That's probably like their best shot at this point. But it's more of a question what Morgan's Minions are going to ban out. Maybe they try to risk it and they say like, all right, we ban something else out. If they ban Illidan, then we take Kel'Thas, and if they don't ban Illidan, then we ban Illithas. We take Illidan and we give them Kel'Thas. There we go. So yeah, that's basically like the options that they currently have here. So there's a Tacita ban already. Okay, so that at least makes sure that Elysium Gaming cannot go straight into that Sonya style once more. I actually like that. That kind of makes sense. Even if an Illidan appears here, it would not have the heavy support that we oftentimes see with him. So that puts Elysium in a position where they actually start thinking about it. Are we allowing Illidan? Yes or no? Do we ban a Kel'Thas right now? Or do we just simply ban Illidan instead? And that's it's a very interesting position. This, by the way, is another map where we could see the Haka. Falstad is more or less a given on Dragonshire usually, but the Haka has another global that can be used. They ban Falstad. Illidan is up for grabs. Illidan, or do you pick Illidan right now, or do you pick the Kel'Thas? Kel'Thas, and then yes, Kel'Thas picked, and now EG, are they gonna pick Illidan here, or are we actually gonna see a game without Illidan? Because right now you have to really think about, they could play, for example, a Sonya already, and Sonya is another hero that Illidan doesn't really like all too much. They are not friends. And that's one of the moments when, well, basically, like, the story goes that at some point Sonya was hitting on Illidan. Illidan was just being really rude and saying, like, I don't like you. You look like Eminem. I'm not going to kiss you. Forget that. So, yeah, Sonya is pretty pissed at Illidan. Illidan is pretty pissed at Sonya. They don't like each other. And Sonya is actually, like, so mad that she is very strong when she plays against Illidan because of those slams. That's at least, like, how the tale goes. But fact is, Sonya is a pretty good pick against Illidan. And right now, they are not even going for her. They don't pick the potential Illidan. They don't pick Sonya. They go for Azul first for lockdown. We have still Kel'Thas there. And this draft there's a lot of mind games going into this draft right now. And that's one of the things that I really like about it, especially since we're currently looking at the third game in the series. We have a Tyrande plus Azul. There's a lot of lockdown potential that you have here, and it's very likely to be paired with one of the CC tanks, maybe going into, yeah, ETC or Muradin. I was for a moment thinking about the Haka as well, but if you play the Haka with a second tank, kind of don't think that's going to happen, because that would put us either in a situation where Tyrande has to be played spec more towards damage, or we will have only one solo heal, and I don't think that's going to be happening here. But yeah, Morgan's minions, they could still go into the Sonya, who can of course on level 4 then also go into the Whirlwind to make sure, into Hurricane for Whirlwind, to make sure that you can break the Bone Prison if you need to. So Sonya is a solid option, and there she is. And maybe the Rhaegar with her. Could try and go into a Rhaegar early on, unless of course they want to make sure that they are going to get one of their CC tanks at this point. What else? Let me think about it. Top laner wouldn't be too bad either, so maybe we're going to see a Zagara at some point. Zagara or a Thrall. I mean, you can play with Sonya plus Thrall. That is still an option, so you can go for both. But that would be a very melee-heavy setup. You see that oftentimes played with Ethereal, where you go for Sanctification, you kind of enable your ally, but you could also like play that with an Illidan, of course. So yeah, it is a Muradin. Okay, so it's one of the CC tanks. All right, totally fine. Could have gone Rhaegar, but they go for this one. We have a couple of ban options here. Morgan's minions could ban out a Thrall. There's still Illidan around, but the setup against Illidan is stronger and stronger for Morgan's minions. So I think the chances that that Elysium Gaming is not going to take it is going to be pretty cool. We have a ban potential. What would Elysium Gaming ban out here? Let's think about that for a moment. There's still a healer. Rhaegar Uther could be banned out, and Elysium Gaming could take the other one, which would most likely result in Morgan's minions taking a Brightwing for global presence in addition to what we have there. So heal bans could definitely happen. Tracer, while allowed, not sure if they are going to take her in this particular setup on this map. Against that Kael'thas, for example. There's always still 2 picks available, so there could be a Lunari. They go for the healer battle. So they ban out Uther, they're going to pick Rhaegar, which is most likely going to result in Morgan's minions playing their Brightwing again, which also gives them a little bit of global presence on the map. The ban on Morgan's minions side, it's the question now. Do you ban out a Thrall here? Illidan, of course, is still available, but with Reverberation build on Muradin, okay, they ban the ETC instead, so Elysium Gaming could go Thrall. CC tanks are gone, which means that we are likely to see... You could play Stitches into stun on the Tyrande side, but we also have an opportunity to go into Johanna, especially since we're on a map where wave play is really important to get good access to the shrines. There is, of course, a chance that we're going to see a little bit more of a niche pick. We have seen Rexxar played in the North American scene a little bit, and this is a pretty good map for him. Rhaegar is expected. So that is still an option, but I do not believe that the European teams are going to follow that trend this soon. Maybe a DreamHack, but I do not believe that Elysium is going to resort to a Rexxar play in this case. I don't really believe that's going to be their best option either. So right now, they still have an opportunity to go into even a Liming. Liming could be quite nice here as well. Besides that, a Thrall would of course benefit, but the problem with Thrall is if you go for Thrall, you have such a melee-heavy frontline that you don't have anybody in the backline to really just poke properly. So I feel instead they could just simply say, you know what, screw it, we're going to go into a Liming right now. And yeah, they pick their tank first. So they go into a Johanna, which makes them a little bit more flexible on the last pick. Liming is still an option for them. Could be picked away now by Morgan's minions. I expect Brightwing for the heals. Lunara, I like her. I like Lunara here. I really feel on this map she's going to give a lot of vision. She's going to be pretty powerful here. And I believe it's going to be a Brightwing. I'm currently thinking about... The one thing that Brightwing doesn't give you is cleanse. That's the problem. So if they feel that they need the cleanse against Zul's Bone Prison, against everything else that could be played here, then going into a different healer would be the better choice. Then you have the choice to make between Kharazim and Malfurion. But I feel the comfort pick for Morgan's minions, considering the way that they've been playing so far, is Brightwing, and Brightwing gives the global presence, but they go Malfurion. I don't mind it too much. They don't know what Elysium Gaming had planned for the last pick. They want to have a cleanse available for the stuns on Tyrande, for also, of course, like the Blessed Shield, for the Bone Prison. I don't really mind it too much. I think a Brightwing would have offered them a lot of good value, but I can totally understand why they are going for Malfurion instead. It's also additional routes, which is always nice. And Elysium Gaming, they have to show their cards right now. They have to show what they really want to play here. Range damage would be kind of sweet, I suppose, and we still talk Li Ming. Li Ming, Tracer, some kind of range damage would be nice, and there she is. Li Ming is being played. All right, that's sweet. And yeah, guys, with that, we are going to jump into the next game, and we're going to find out which team is going to take the best of 3 series to advance to the grand final and face the Evil Murkies. Game number 3, the final match, ladies and gentlemen, it is Dragonshire. And well, to the left side of the map, we have currently Mitch playing Tyrande, Saka on Rhaegar, Mondake on Johanna, Dirty Sweet, he likes it dirty, and he's a dirty old man. He plays Zul, and we have Blade with the Li Ming, which interestingly enough was the last pick in this series. So we have to the right side of the map right now, Gnappe on Malfurion for Morgan's Minions, we have Wildkarten on Kalthas. Tasu on Sonya, and we are seeing Bad Benny on Mirrodin with Bosse again on Lunara. Solid play so far in the series, and we have on level 1 once again Vision taken by Lunara. So little Bambi. By the way, like my childhood memories got completely ruined when I found out that Bambi is actually a boy. It was a little bit weird because I always assumed that Bambi was a girl. I don't even know why, but like if you look at pictures of Bambi on Google, you have to assume that like it's a girl. But then there's a Bambi. Apparently there's like Bambi 2 or something, when he or she, like whatever you want to call it, is like grown up. I personally, thinking about it, to be honest with you, I think Bambi is a transgender. I think Bambi is a transgender. A girl that at some point just discovered that she feels or he feels more comfortable as a guy. That's my personal opinion. That makes way more sense than Bambi in Bambi 1, the original movie, being a guy. I'm like screwing things up right now, but it doesn't really matter. Lunara is in the game right now, and she is she's playing natural perspective. Disney was way ahead actually of that time. So yeah, Bambi transgender confirmed. So that's right there. That's what we're talking about. Well, Bosse is down there already and up against 4 actually. Yep, playing with Lunara here, the poke game of course. And they're starting the rotation. I mean, this is really like high level rotation right there in the sense that the kill against Kelthas, that is a trap that backfired hard. But Sweet gets moonburned into the ground. Bad Bunny is also jumping away barely, but the fight isn't over because Gnappe, oh my god, like that ragdoll, that orb hit him hard, full in the face. That was pretty brutal right there. So for now we're actually seeing Mitch and Blade down at the bot lane. We're currently having up at the mid lane Bad Benny and Mondake. It's all about the experience reach at this point. We're having level 4 talent starting to come into play. In this case, Warpaint, by the way, has been the option on level 1 for Sonya. Basically all over the place. For Sonya, you have so many talents that you can make work. Warpaint, block, you can go into the Shot of Fury. So there's a lot of stuff that you can actually pull out here. At the same time, we have a full owl build for Tyrande, kind of what you would expect. Double. It's actually kind of interesting to see that even with the even with the double support, we see Laws of Hope here. It's a great talent to take, but with double support, you could have also gone into Amplified Healing on Johanna. You get a lot of value out of that. We have still Orb build. So far, at least, Triumvirate has been taken, and the Death's Reach already in play. As at the top lane, Rhaegar has to deal with Tasu. It's one of the problems that they actually have right now, that they don't really have the best solo laners. I guess Zul is the best one against Sonya, but apparently they want to have Zul in the rotation so that they can lock targets down, like Bambi, for example. Lunara nearly dying, but the old geezer is ready to save her, and after another shot that has been fired, Bosse decides that it's really time to hit the B button and moves back to base. So the rotation game is still on, and both of the teams are roughly on the same level. We have one game won by each one of these teams. It's the final map, it's the semi-final of the Zotac Cup Monthly Final, and we all know, of course, what that means. It means that one of these two teams is going to drop out of the tournament, and the winner is going up against none other than the Evil Murkies. Bot lane pressure now, and that actually gives both of those shrines into the hands of Morgan's minions. Rhaegar is trying to make sure that that is not going to be a permanent state, and it's trying to soak the top, but that is not really happening. They are under pressure here. They are under quite a bit of pressure here as well. But Benny, Bosse and Gnappe are still holding the bot lane, but we have, at least in the middle for now, Johanna trying to make sure that nobody is claiming that Dragon Knight early on. Level 7 talents are hitting a bit faster for Elysium. That helps them here. And they have also, besides the battle momentum, battle momentum on Tyrande. We're seeing also now Rudma's Blessing. We have Seeker taken, so no full orb build here on this map. We see full focus, on the other hand, on the rampant, on the regrowth, with rampant growth and enduring growth now taken. Plus, on top of that, Gravity Crush after the Netherwind. Battle momentum on Mirrodin now as well, and Nature's Culling has been taken. Alright, so a bit of like structure pressure. That's gonna be doing a lot of work. They go straight for the kill against Bo3 again. Leeming with the shots fired, and those hits, they took her down. That's actually like another kill here. Oh, but Rega got wrecked at the top lane with Wildcard rotating in and Tazu helping out there. So it's kill for a kill in the end. Still a slight leading experience for the blue team. Elysium Gaming is doing solid work here, but they are not in a position where they can go for Dragonite. They are still firing away at those walls and trying to make sure that they are taking down the everything else here. So the structures get a bit of experience, get a slight lead. This is a really cool game here for a third map. I like it. It's very close in the early game. Of course, we have quite a bit of the lane push present right now on the side of the blue team, and that's going to help them in the long run. Lane pressure is always quite important, and with all of that wave clear, it's going to be pretty sweet for them. But we are seeing at the bot lane, Sweet doing his job again on Zul. The old man is doing his thing. And Bo3 is claiming another shrine, but it's again the exchange. And Sonya is probably slightly pissed at this point. So saying, this stupid dog, every single time I'm just busy on the lane, trying to get a wave away, that dog rushes in and gets that shrine again. Wow, Benny, low, really low. So is Monda K, by the way. They were still able to claim the camp here, so yep, not stolen away, even though not for lack of trying. The top lane, 3 battle momentums, by the way, are taken overall, because Johanna went also into battle momentum here. So that's extra condemns. That's also, of course, the Blessed Shield available a little bit more often. That's going to help as well. We're currently seeing the top lane pressure again. Zaka, and he should be escaped. Yeah, he escapes. If the cooldown on the spear would have been ready, he would have most likely died there, but as is, he is able to get away. Blessed Shield, Starfall, also Ancestral Healing, and I guess we are going to see in this case not only Disintegrate, but also the Poison Nova once again, with a double frontline here already. Poison Nova would actually do some solid work here, but we have occasionally seen the Skeletal Mages. Depends a bit on how you want to play the game, if you are more interested in zoning out, or if you are trying to go for the team fights. And it is Skeletal Mages. They're going for the Skeletal Mages here, trying to make sure that they have a really nice position if they want to just zone an opponent at some point. Rega still at the top. And with Rega at the top, I have to highlight it again. It really means that Rega is having a pretty tough time against Sonya. That bottom, or the top shrine is always going to be in the hands of Tazu. It's just not going to change. Saka can every now and then just run in and try and claim it for a few seconds, but in the long run, he's always going to lose out in a one-on-one battle against Sonya. So there's not really a whole lot that he can do, which means that there's pressure on the other 4, making the rotation, the 4-man roam between mid and bottom work, so that they claim at least one of the shrines. We have also Phoenix taken here, Tranquility too, and the teams are starting to go straight for those camps once again. But for now, we have still not seen a Dragonite, by the way. We are 7 minutes into the game. No Dragonite has been claimed yet, and both of the teams still waiting to get a few kills in so they can finally turn this around a bit. But we have also another Bruiser Camp claim. So Bruiser Camp has been taken. Bot lane is now being pressured. Mitch and Dirty Sweet are both there. It's a pretty intense match right now. Both of the teams want to advance to the finals. We have that slight experience lead from the early stages still in the hands of Elysium Gaming. So they haven't lost that yet. Blade with a TP. Yeah, teleports away. No pressure against him. Bot lane, 2 Siege Giants have been eliminated. In the middle, we're seeing currently Tyrande taking over experience, but up at the top, they're really trying to change things up a little bit. And this is the rotation that happens again. This is 3 versus 2 at the top. They have to get it. They have to go for it. Dirty Sweet is trying to delay it at the bottom for as long as he can. He gets rooted, and they see an opportunity to go for the kill, and they really, really want it. Stormbolt to the face, and Zul is dead. They get at least the top shrine, so they can deny the Dragonite for now, but it's another kill for the red team, and that puts us on even kill count. Tazu moves in, and this is really starting to become extremely tricky for Elysium Gaming. They need to be careful. The Dragonite at 8 minutes in is also going to do quite some solid damage. Here comes again the attempt to go for it. Yeah, they need to really channel that through. They know that there are 4 heroes down here, so there's no immediate pressure. Zul is on his way back. It's a 4 versus 3 situation. Rega is at the top, fighting it out against Sonya down here. Mitch is falling. Nice move by Tyrande, hitting that ult, and that is now another kill for them. 13 versus 13. and it could be the Dragon Knight. Top lane is not going to change. Rhaegar, he can just do whatever he wants. He can just like go back on his hind leg paws and just like to dance around a little bit, but it's not going to do anything. Dirty Sweet, not in range in time, and Bad Benny claims the Dragon Knight and feels now pretty solid. I mean, think about it. You are, well, in this case, he plays, what does he play? Johanna, actually. No, Johanna is dodging. That always feels bad, man. If you're actually like in the spot where you try to punt someone away and he simply uses his iron skin and then it's just like, eh. So yeah, Muradin, it feels really good right now. And think about it, Muradin is a little ugly dwarf, and he's not really pretty, and he's also very short, so that's probably why he's having some... he has some issues. Yeah, it's definitely a couple of issues. But now he's a Dragon Knight, and he still can keep his battle axe. That's the best thing about it. So he has his battle axe, but all of a sudden he's so much taller, and the girls, they love that, as we all know. So they are really digging the tall guys. Bad Benny, therefore, is now in a position where he says like, hey, not only do I have a huge battle axe, I'm also much, much taller, and I can breathe fire. Now the dream's over, though. He's an ugly dwarf again that has a lollipop in his hands and has to jump away. In green, by the way. Pedo Muradin skin activated, and, well, at least we don't have a Lily in the game. That would have been creepy. Wanna have some candy, girl? Stormbolt is also not hitting Ferranda here, but we have a pressure play with the blue team trying to put some pressure onto the bot lane here for now. The lead-in experience, thanks to the structures that I've just eliminated, is now finally in the hands of the blue team, though. Sorry, the red team. And they also took down the top fort. So that Dragon Knight really gave solid value. It was a very late Dragon Knight at that, if you think about it. So that play that we saw with Lunara, thanks to the Nature's Culling as a level 7 talent, that did, of course, wonders. Unfair advantage on top of all of that, and the Mystical Spear, having the Pyromaniac and the full life seed build for heals. They could just simply go for the fort. They could drop the mid lane. Now all of a sudden it's a lead-in experience that we're having as well. This is one of those scenarios where the game is all of a sudden starting to completely shift, and in favor this time of Morgan's minions. They're looking at a very solid position with a lead in talents. They also have now, with the level 16 talent, the talent advantage that they can, with great talents by the way, but also here in this case Hardened Focus now take, and Sun King's Fury. They have a massive, massive position that can allow them to just push through the bot lane or any other. Sonya is even trying to steal the camp at the top away, and they are going straight for it. So yep, there we go. Kazu is already there. Down to the bottom of the map. We are still having a 4 versus 4 battle on the other hand with the Skeleton Mages in play. There's their Phoenix. Bone Prison against Skelthas, but Tranquility is keeping everybody on pretty decent hit points. Sonya, by the way, has by now also taken the camp and is starting to move away now once again. At the bottom of the map, there comes the kill against Johanna. Oh, and also against Li Ming. Both of the girls are down. Basically, this was currently just Muradin hating on blondes, and then immediately after that... actually, it's interesting. Think about it. We have a girl in the game that is blonde, another one that has black hair, one with green hair, and one with orange hair. We have a ginger as well. If you can Sonya a girl. I mean, that's always up to you. So, like, I leave you at that. I mean, I still think she's Eminem, but in disguise. Very, very cheap disguise, by the way. It doesn't really do the trick, but, well, what do I know? So, level 16 versus 16, and another Dragon Knight lane. Dragon Knight number 2 now, and at least even talents. Look at, by the way, on that focus that we see for Zul, going into Decrepify and also Flowing Wounds. That already signals that we are going to have that level 20 talent with a reduction in heals. I mean, that kind of has to be, right? If you go for full focus on your Spectral Scythe, that has to be a thing. Right now, though, Morgan's minions, they're running the show. I mean, they're definitely calling the shots in this game. They're 2 levels ahead by now, and with the second Dragon Knight, not only did they just take down the bot lane, but they're going straight for the wall at the keep as well. They are looking very, very strong here with that setup that they're running. They are going to lose the Dragon Knight, but they got decent value out of him. The problem is that Kel'Thas is still dead, and with Kel'Thas dead, this could backfire. They are 4 versus 5 down here. They were a little bit late on the retreat. Nice heal on Monda K. That was important. Bosse is dead, Lunara down, and that could be the turnaround right here. Bad Benny attempting to escape. The stun of Lunara is not going to hit him, but that Disintegrate is not taking any prisoners. Very nice move here. Really well done. And that's, of course, now another siege camp take, and that's a triple kill against them. Kel'Thas is about to be back. It's actually a double kill. Kel'Thas died a little bit earlier than the rest of them, but it allows them to go straight for a few structures. And that brings them back into the game. because there are a ton of structures available that they can all obliterate, and once they do that, they pick up the experience, and they are really going to close that gap quite significantly. So that's one of the things that they are going to do very soon here. So once again, we are seeing, well, Taz in the mid lane trying to defend. Dirty Sweet was doing his thing with all those skeletons. And, well, there's the Bone Prison. Can they capitalize on it with the Condemned trying to suck him in, slow down. Here comes the stun. Good hit. Not good enough, though. Tazu wants him. Tazu wants the kill, but doesn't get it. 18 versus 18, level 19, close enough. Lunara back to business now. And starting to push in at the bot lane here. So we are having, again, pressure play here with another camp about to be taken. It's all about, like right now, what really is important. I mean, we talk a lot about, like, pushing a lane out. We talk about trying to just, like, get some pressure going. But it usually means that you are going to push back lanes. You are just using your wave clear to obliterate these lanes as fast as you can. And once that your own minion wave is pushing the opponent a bit farther in, you always have better vision over the shrines. And that is incredibly important when we're talking about that shrine game in particular. So right now, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to use their wave clear and also the camps that they can claim on the map to get a bit more vision over the two turn-in points so that they have an easier time when it comes to the next objective. And the difference in experience is right now just half a level. It's half a level, and this could be, it could also be the difference about life and death, to be honest with you. At least when it comes to, like, your game experience here. Because once that 20 hits, if there's another Dragonite for Morgan's minions, they have a very good shot of doing solid damage. But they haven't opened up a win condition yet. They have not taken a keep. Here comes that fight. Uh-oh, Malfurion is dead. And that's an issue. Blade gets Ancestral, and it is time to party hardy. They are starting to go straight in, and this is the moment when Elysium Gaming really wants to get their kills. Woohoo! Kalthus is dead. Goodbye, buddy. Bossa gets owled. Owl to the face. It's a triple kill. The 20s are in play, and that means Temporal Flux. Resets are ready. Oh my god, it's the team wipe. Is it? Is it? Yes, no? Ah, there we go. The team wipe is real. Blade has to jump out. They can finally get a Dragonite. They have to deal with this at some point. Well, I guess actually they don't have to because they already took a few of the waves away. They could have gone for the keep here at least, I suppose, though. So that's a little bit weird that they didn't take the keep. I feel like it was an easy pick right there. They can't get the Dragonite, I mean, that's for certain. But still, I guess they could have done a little bit more after a quad kill. Still, the bot lane is there. But camps are, of course, now being pushed, so this is not going to be a massive concern for them. Boss is about to be claimed, and, well, we have already Mitch on his way straight into the middle. And at this point, let's look at the damage for a moment, by the way. We're having 53,000 on Li Ming, and currently 41,000 for Lunara. They are not trying... yeah, okay, I like that a lot more. For a moment, it really looked like they were going through the mid lane. I was just like, why on earth would you do that? Bot lane, that's where it's at. You need to drop that keep. You need to make sure that you open up a win condition, and ideally in this case they would of course love to end the game, but I highly doubt that's going to be something that they can make work, unless of course they're going to get some kills here. Johanna is just now back, was still here at the Nexus, and needs to make her way over to the right, where the boss is already, or the boss I say, like the Dragonite is already in there. But it's still weird to me how they played this. I really feel Elysium could have gotten a lot more out of that Dragonite. Still 40 seconds, enough time to drop a keep. And they have to do that. And they could have taken that keep with the 4 heroes easily. I mean, yes, they were low, but there was nobody there. There was no chance for anybody to come back in time to really defend it. So right now, they go for the keep here. Mitch is getting dropped really fast, though. Extremely fast at this point. And yeah, keep is gonna fall, and they are retreating. So all that they get is a keep. Yeah, I don't like that. I really think they could have killed that keep earlier with just the heroes, and they would have still gotten the Dragonite. They might not have been able to end, but they could have taken another fort or two. So I guess it's not the... maybe they thought it was too greedy. I think they could have made it work. In the end, they took the keep at the bot lane. They are ahead right now. That helps them. But yeah. So for now, we are seeing actually like Blade again, like Li Ming with a laser show here the entire time. Pew, pew. And as I said before, once that Li Ming reaches a level 20 in a distant galaxy in a swamp, Yoda is gonna feel an awakening in the Force. Because, well, she's already strong with her laser show before that happens, but once she yields that lightsaber on level 20 with a slow, that's when she really gets solid value for the rest of the team as well. And if you have all those slows, and on top of that, you have a Tyrande who just says, hey, I'm gonna drop that Starfall here. What are you going to do? There's, by the way, also the mortal wound now. Oh my god, who would have thought? I mean, it's not like we called that already, and I mean, I guess it wasn't really a difficult call, right? He went into the entire scythe build first, so that already is a huge tell that he wants to also go for the level 20, which indeed he did. Khaldor, on the other hand, he claimed the Master of Flames. It's not like he was the Master of Flames already, but now you can just like have a constant spread on these bombs, which can of course be the downfall of any team. But we have still everybody in position on the camps, and of course the next team fight is very likely to finish the game. Let's put it like this. The next dragon is, let me double check. Yeah, next dragon is going to end the game. This is going to fall within seconds if you have like a past 20-minute Dragon Knight. So the next dragon is going to finish the game, but it might of course be finished even before that. Oh, bombs are spreading. That was actually like a really nice attempt to put some burst damage on them. Talking damage, by the way. Look at Khaldor, that bad boy. Lunara with 48k, Khaldor himself with 44,000. Yeah, I'm sorry, Khaldor, but you are only second choice today. At least for now. That Lunara is just showing you up. We have at the top lane, like right now, as I said, it's all about the Dragon Knight. Get those shrines, try to win the team fight, and then just like end the match. And that would of course catapult the team into the grand final, which is what they are all aiming for right now. We have already the first one taken. Zul is actually moving back, but nice pressure at the bot lane. I really like that. I like that we are seeing Morgan's minions now always with an attempt to just push the lane a little bit farther. First of all, they make sure that this lane is not going to pressure them too much. They have a catapult against them, so they need to do that. And they also threaten to go in to simply drop a quick keep if nobody reacts for this. So we're having, in this case, already in the mid lane, position now taken. They're seeing in the middle of the map the rest of the team moving in, and with two of those shrines, okay, one captured out at the bottom, but with two you have to really react to it. The problem over here is, nice, that was a really important one. That unstoppable, that iron skin here, if that doesn't happen and they lose Monda K, it's over. If you lose a hero right now, the chances of you losing the game are absolutely astronomical. It's crazy. Like right now, without any globals, with the Falstad abusing Epic Mount or something like that, with a Dehaka that can just simply cross the map in a flash, you have to make sure that you are not caught on the map, or you are very likely to lose it. And besides that bot lane keep that was eliminated, we still have forts on the map, by the way. So that is a huge deal, especially at the top where we still have the well in position. But right now, down here, this is where you want to fight if you're Elysium. This is where you want to take that fight. This is the lane that pushes for you. We have catapults coming in too. So this is the best chance that you are going to get. Already starting to go for it. If there was a Falstad right now with an Epic Mount on the side of Elysium, they would just simply hop into the middle and claim it. But they can't. So right now the fight is happening. Monda K under pressure. Bone Prison already being used. There's the Skeletal Mages. Monda K gets healed once again. Starfall used. And there's the Instructable. But the kill against Sonya. Eminem is down. And we're having them jumping on to the rest of the team with Khaldor dying, with Malfurion just exploding. Bad Benny, well, he is not going to escape from this one, and let's face it, even if he does, it doesn't matter anymore. There's the Temporal Flux. Goodbye, Murden. Goodbye, game. Goodbye, goodbye, Morgan's minions. This is the end. Boss, the only one trying to make the play. Actually, he's playing a lot. He's doing a lot of damage, and Dirty Sweet is just like, get away, Bambi, we don't have time for you. So, Lunara is falling, and this is the end of the game. We are seeing Elysium against Evil Murkies in the grand final of the Zotac Cup Monthly Final. Congratulations, well played. A close game here on the last map, Dragonshire, but in the end it is Elysium Gaming that are able to decide the final fight in their favor, and that they take the game. Congratulations, well done, and we're going to head into the grand final with Elysium Gaming going up against the Evil Murkies.